Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Selene Kempton. I'm here at Create with Selene. I have been working like crazy these past couple of days. I'm just going to give everybody a minute to log on, and I'm going to see if I can find the video, which would be good. Oop, there it is. Let me shut it off. So, I've got some really exciting things for you today. I eventually had to stop playing and get off and actually come create with you. I have been heat embossing this morning, and I'm just going to share this in the creative group just so they see it. And if you hear any background noise, know that my in-laws are home and that my husband is working from home and he's currently on a conference call in the kitchen. So it's a busy morning here at my house, but that's okay. Late last night, I finished. I have a quarterly coming up on Sunday. Hi, Dauberdew. That's a cool Facebook name. I was like, oh hi, hello from Michigan. Anyway. I'm finishing this class that I have on Sunday, and everybody's welcome, whether you're in person or to go. These packets, they contain 4 complete classes from the upcoming Occasions catalog. Hi, Robin. I get so excited when I see people pop on that I just lose track of what I'm saying. So I'll give you a quick sneak peek of all 16 projects. I have done 48 packets. Now, good morning, Ella. For Ella, for example, she's not a demonstrator, so she wouldn't have access to buy the stamp sets yet. But when you take the kit to go, you would have them even before you can order the sets, so they'd be ready to go. There's 4 card classes, and you would need 4 stamp sets and 1 punch. And I will show you them so you can take a peek, and I'm excited about them. And then I want to show you a little heat embossing. This one got a little muddy because I did it right on top of a stamped image, and then I don't know if you can see, but it picked up a little bit of the dust. But we're going to show you some of that, and let's have some fun. Okay, so I'm going to just slow my roll for a second. Have a sip of coffee, because otherwise I can't even keep up. And then I'm going to flip the camera, and I'll first show you this Sunday's class, because I just finished 48 packets of 16 projects. They are in 4 different card classes. So if you're a demonstrator, by the way, you can use these to plan your own classes, or you can give one of each of the 4 individual card classes with a $50 order. I want you to recoup your cost with me. So, hi, good morning, Shirley. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera. You guys ready? Good morning. Let's see. All right. So, what do you need for heat embossing? Versamark. You definitely don't need a computer, so I'm going to slide all of that right out of the frame. Oh, too far. Here we go. All right, they just went flying a bit. Okay, so this is the cake one. Cake is the answer. Who cares what the question is? It's perfect. And I don't know, can you see the shimmer? Ooh, we're gonna have so much fun. So this is all Sunday, and they're all prepped and ready to roll at Harmony Hall. My team has a team meeting first, and so people who come in after, it's no big deal. Everybody's welcome. And if you're a demonstrator and you want to come to my team meeting, well, just let me know. You got to sign up for the directions. So I will post a link to this event. This is the stitched card. And I'm going to send out the signups again this week. This one's probably my favorite. And I hate to have favorites because they're all beautiful in their own way. But I have a thing for guy cards, and it's always difficult to have good cards for masculine designs. So that one's my masculine one. And then butterflies, hello. These are just gorgeous. Okay, wait. Ready? Woo. Gotta love that. So, Shirley, hope you're not so cold when you see all that warm glitter. It's so pretty. Oh. Anyway, each person gets a full bolt of this white ribbon and rhinestones included in their packet, whether it's in person or to go. And it comes with 4 videos and 4 PDFs. So you'll have good tips and tricks on how to put each card together. But this morning, I have been playing with heat embossing. And geez, you can't even see that one because it's so sparkly on the table. And I had a couple of customers ask me about how to do heat embossing, so I thought that I would mess with it. So this one came out a little muddy, and I thought that it would be better if I used less snow. Shirley, being in North Carolina, I bet you can appreciate less snow. They had a crazy storm over the weekend. I have a downline there. And then I even did a little clear embossing, and you may not be able to see that too great, but I want to show you a technique with that. So let's jump in and get started with the basics. First of all, when you do heat embossing, you need a couple of things. You need a Versamark pad. This is a watermark pad, and in some of my classes last week, we stamped with Versamark on a dark color cardstock to make just a watermark. It's sticky. I don't dare put my finger in it because the powder will stick to my finger instead of my project. I also like to bring in a couple of paintbrushes, and these are really soft bristles. I want to be able to brush off any extra flecks of powder from my cardstock. And, ooh, I just spilled my embossing powder on the other side of the table. We won't tell anybody. We got half a jar now. Awesome. Well, at least it's there. I'll clean that up after. I've got clear embossing powder. Make sure you put the cover back on. Ah! And it's hysterical. I've got silver here. Now, let me just tell you, not all embossing powders are created equal. I often have people call me and say, Selene, my embossing isn't working the way that it should. What's going on? And it could be that they got the embossing powder from a big box store and that it was hanging out on the shelf at one of those stores before hitting your craft room for 5 or more years. Not all embossing powders are created equal. I am sweeping up the table, by the way. And they do go bad. So if you have one that doesn't puff up or heat, there's a couple things that could be happening. Your heat gun could be too hot, or you could have expired embossing powder. Dun, dun, dun. So the last thing you need, obviously, is a heat gun. And this is the one from Stampin' Up. I used to have the old black ones. The old black gun was really good for toasting marshmallows because it got super hot. But the problem with that is sometimes you can overcook your projects. These new ones with Stampin' Up, and I want to say new, they're like 4 years old or whatever. They have 2 settings. So if you notice, setting 1 is for heat setting ink, like sticky ink. So we have the white craft ink, or sometimes you see the silver or gold craft ink at the big box stores. If you want to heat set it without melting embossing powder, that's what setting 1 is for. And then setting 2 is to actually melt this fine powder and turn it into that pretty puffy text you see on the project. Okay. So, with all of that, I want to grab a marker first. Because honestly, this is bugging me. I hope I didn't go too far for you to hear me, but see this thanks? It got a little bit muddy because when I embossed it, you can see through these letters because of the design of the stamp set. It's so pretty. It's one of my favorites. It's the Warm-Hearted stamp set. And by the way, there's going to be a drawing for this one for everybody who shared the video last week. So I'm going to try something, and I don't know how it's going to come out, but when you emboss something, the marker won't stick to the embossing, but it will stick to the inside of those letters. So I want to kind of have less mud, and I want to be able to see the thanks. So I want to see if I can, and it could be a total failure, so let's do it live, right? I've never done this before. But I thought that we could rub off the marker because this will bead up and roll off. I suppose a paper towel would be good for that. Oh, how about a tissue? Okay. So I'm just gonna clean off the area, and that's gonna leave. So it did kind of run onto the outside of my things, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, look at that. That's kind of cool. I think it pops better, but I don't know if I love it. But you can color the inside. I want to see what that looks like. I'm gonna stand up. So you can color the inside of those. Hey, good morning, Sharon. Good to see you. Okay, so with that, let me show you a little bit of how we got there. So we're gonna start with a blank slate. And how about the Night of Navy ink pad? And we're gonna leave room for the word thanks here, okay? So I'm just gonna grab those stamps. They're right here in front of me, of course. That's why I couldn't find them. And I'm gonna recreate this card. So you're gonna ink up with the Night of Navy. My Night of Navy could really use a re-ink, but I didn't want to do it right before I got on live with you in case it got too inky. So forgive me if it's not perfect. Oh, look, there's 2 pieces of paper. I've been playing with this leftover pack from Retreat. These were card kits that I did for all the attendees, and I pre-cut some papers and made a class out of it. But then afterwards, I just want to play. Okay, so the other thing we needed, right, was a buddy. So this just takes any static electricity off your paper and off your fingers. So the first thing I do is I do my fingers with it to make sure that I'm not going to stick to the paper. And then I wanted to give this a second to dry because we just stamped it and it's fresh, which means that the powder could stick if it's damp at all. I don't want to like make huge like Linus cloud puffs of dust, but I do want to get the, so it's just like a fine powder and none of this, but just kind of like a swipe across your paper. And then I'm going to open up the Versamark, which is a clear ink. So just to be clear, if you were to stamp this on the same color, it can be a watermark too. So let's show you that. That's what it looks like as a watermark. And it's kind of cool, like if you're doing background trees or you wanted to just have something subtle and not emboss, you can use it that way too. And then I'm gonna put the thanks right in where there's no ink behind and it can't get muddy on me again. Okay, so you don't see anything just yet, but that's okay. I'm gonna cover this up because I've already made a mess this morning. And then I'm going to shake a little bit of this on. And you're like, that's not a little bit. I actually do. I coat it. Okay, so see, like there's a bunch of powder left, but that I can flick off a little bit. And then I'm going to take the paintbrush and go in and make sure that there's nothing stuck to any of those other little areas and clean up. And honestly, it looks good right there. So before I heat this, I'm going to take a second and put the powder back in the jug. I always have another piece of paper underneath to catch all the extras that fall off because I don't want a messy workstation. And then I need to heat it up. Anybody remember what setting I need to set my heat gun to? So I'm going to give it a second to heat up. And then once it's nice and warm, then I can start to heat it up. Now, if your paper starts to curl, you can do the same thing to the other side, and it will curl it back. So if you add heat to one side of the paper and it damages the paper or starts to curl it, you can heat the other side, and it will do the same. Same thing with water. Hopefully you can hear me okay over that. Isn't that pretty? So you really can see it transform from powder to liquid before your eyes, and then just give it a second to kind of cool off, and then it will be hard like nail polish. So I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful. So a few minutes ago, I did one with clear embossing powder, and I thought that I might grab a sponge here. Easier said than done when you're trying to do it on a live. I wish I had an assistant here. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Julia. So good to see everybody. We got a lot of people this morning. So I'm going to add a little bit of the same ink to my sponge, and then I'm going to sponge off a little bit because you get this streak thing going on. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sponging over my clear embossed image. All right, let's see. It's funny because it seems to be picking it up, but I know that when I'm done, it will just wipe off. Again, I'm not thrilled with that. Okay, so streaks off. I don't know if I love this. Let's see. Usually the white will resist the ink. I think I might need just a touch of water. Hang on. But instead it picked up the trees. That's different. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can fix it. Because I don't think it should be doing that. That's strange. Okay, so let's get it a little wet. I used a blender pen. Oh, there it goes. That's different. Nothing like discovering things live. Usually the ink will resist. This is kind of cool, actually. Makes it pop. All right, I'm gonna fix the ground here, and let's make, since we're playing with this, let's go the whole way. It's kind of cool. All right, I want to get the top now. Again, I think if my ink pad had more ink, we'd be good to go. It's like dusk. So pretty. So the point was how to emboss, just so you know, but this is just extra fun. Let's see. Okay, so this one's still looking funny to me. Like, didn't pull the ink enough, so I'm gonna just go over it. It's kind of artsy, huh? And then I think if I were to soften it up again, oh yeah, look at it, then they really pop. All right, well, I promised to fix this card and get it up live, but it's kind of cool. I wanted to show you the embossing piece of it. So this was just clear embossing on white paper, and the concept is that the white embossing or the clear embossing will resist the ink so that you can color on top of it. So I'll finish getting this nice and soft and make a card with it later, and I'll post it to that creative group, Creating with Selene. So the next thing I want to show you, what if you want to emboss in color? Well, Stampin' Up! Right now doesn't make different colors of embossing powder. Well, we have a few, but I am really digging the Night of Navy right now. So I'm going to pull the thanks off my block and switch to this Merry Christmas. So you can actually emboss in any color. And how you do that is first you ink up in your Versamark, and you can even do multiple colors if you want, like just by kind of being careful. But then I'm just going to do one because I think that this is going to be pretty by itself. But then you ink up in the color that you want. So it's picked up both the Versamark and the Night of Navy. I'm going to stamp that on my cardstock. And then in between, I would just want to wash my stamp because I don't want to take the Night of Navy back into my Versamark. And I'm going to use clear embossing powder over the top. So this is sticky because of the Versamark, and it has color because of the blue. And I, again, want to kind of take a look and make sure that there's no flecks. And this one actually looks really good. That's how I got in trouble last time, not cleaning up my pile first, but I'm excited. Okay, this is super like shiny, and can you see the shine at all? Oh my gosh. I absolutely love the shine on this, and it's all standing up like dimensional. So like when you run over it with your finger, you can feel that it's embossed. It's so pretty. And you can do that with any color. And you can even layer your images. So this morning I was looking for a tree with ornaments that I could emboss a tree in one color and put ornaments on in another color, and I just ran out of time. So, but you can absolutely layer them up, and the next layer of heat embossing would just lay right on top of the first thing that you embossed. So let's make some cards. It could be kind of fun. So these, again, were leftover packets, and they actually are cut to fit these silver foil-edged metallic cards. They come 20 cards in envelopes. It's item 147900, $9.50, and everything is pre-cut. So if you like easy, like I do, oh, I gotta grab scissors. If you like easy like I do, it's easy to just pop one of these open, and you have cards that are ready to roll. Guess I should have sliced that before the video. Okay. All right, so let's finish some of these up. So these just literally, they come pre-scored. All you do is fold it in half and you're ready to roll. I'm gonna cover up that thanks that I was just showing you an example. So let's grab some adhesive. This is one of my favorite adhesives, actually. My customers know it well. Before they came out with Fast Fuse, I used to use it as my favorite adhesive. I just put like little dots of it because it's super sticky. It's like stuff you put together boxes with. And I go really easy with it. You don't need a lot, and it goes forever and ever, and it saves you money. Love that. So I'm going to give that a second to set up. These framelits were from one of the fall sets in the holiday book, and I love this border, so I'll just add rhinestones to these little dots, and I'll probably go all the way down. And then maybe we'll add a little bit of this silver ribbon. So you see, like, we're pulling in the silver rhinestones and then the silver edged ribbon, and then we'll have the silver edged cards. Okay, here it is, the flat knot. This is what everybody always wants me to show. So I have tied this twice. Notice there's just a fold underneath. I'm going to tack one side. The trick to my flat knots is that I never pull both sides. I only pull one side of the ribbon. Oh, that's so pretty. And it's really simple. You know, you don't necessarily need difficult cards, especially if you're making Christmas cards. Sometimes you just want to like have some fun with the set, and I love putting these on those dots. It makes me very happy. All right, well, I can finish that part later. You get how it's gonna go. I'll show the card when it's all done. Okay, so that's how much glue that I use when I use liquid glue. And they're not like dimensional dots either. They're flat. I try to keep the glue flat, and I try to keep it in like a 1/2 inch, because if this ink is the glue is right beside the edge, it'll spread and you'll end up with it on your fingers. But it is one of my favorite glues. Okay, so that's the first project. And I love that the envelopes match. They have this cool little gold foil edge. They come in gold and silver. So, ooh, that's the one thing with the liquid glue. It takes a second for it to set up. But that's a good thing, because you have a minute. If you're not perfect on your placement, you have a minute to move it around before it's completely dry. But then it never falls off, which I like. Okay, so that's card 1. This one was card 2. We stamped the snowflakes, and then we added the thanks. Hey, Jerry. Good to see you, girlfriend. So last week, we had 8 people share the video. Thank you very much. And I put your names into this cute little tin. And I'm going to draw a winner right now for this particular stamp set. Hang on one sec. So cool. Should we put a ribbon on this one? How about blue gingham? Yay, Sharon! I'm excited. I got to see you here finally. So here we go. Actually, this time let's make a bow. So I'm gonna loop, swoop, and pull. And by the way, nobody ties a good bow out of the gate. That's like kind of lumpy and clumpy. So I'm gonna take it and hold on to the knot and pull and get my fingers in the loops here. Oh, now it's cute. So like, I just want to get it smaller. I like making bows so that people are like, how'd she do that? How'd she get her fingers around there? But it's just getting your fingers in the loops and then making it smaller and taking your time with it. So it does take a minute. And then sometimes I do this. You fold the ribbon in half, and the short side would be the inside. So I'm going to cut from the inside out so that it makes like a little V. Hang on one sec. These would be great, multiple thank you cards. My daughter's going to need some for Christmas. People are so awesome and generous. I went on a school field trip yesterday with her, and we went to go see several short stories, Edgar Allan Poe style, you know, chopping up bodies and all of that stuff, cultural things. It was so fun, and I got to spend time with her whole class, and I'm just grateful that she's in 8th grade and still wants me to do that. Hey Janice, welcome! All the way from Nova Scotia. I bet it's chilly up there this morning. Okay, so I am going to fold this over. So this is the second project. See how fast these are coming together? So you can just, and should we mess with this? Hang on, I think I want a Wink of Stella. I am all packed for that event on Sunday, and all of my Wink of Stellas are on the other side of the room, so I hope that this one's good. Let's go back and kind of play with this some more. Oh, look, it had color in it. Even better. Yeah, see, I need more sponge. I want to soften these swoosh marks a little bit. Oh, yeah. Maybe we should emboss right on top of this so we get like the, you guys want to try that? We'll heat emboss right on top. Yep, that's right. I am huffing on my sponge because I don't want to go back to the ink pad at this point, because if I do, I'll have Wink of Stella in my ink pad. Let's do it. I mean, we've already done everything we could possibly do to this card, so let's have some fun with it. I'll put the Wink of Stella back. So we can go swipe, swipe again to make sure that it's dry, because I just did more. Oh, it's already sparkling. It's so fun. And we still have this guy. Oh, remember I said we got to clean this one, right? Let me grab a cleaner. Otherwise, my Versamark will have a pretty navy Merry Christmas in it. So this is my mist and scrub. Yeah, I think the silver would be pretty because it would bring it in. Want to go like right on top, or do you want to go up here? Maybe we'll go up here so it doesn't get muddy. But we'll ink up. And some silver. I should probably move this because it might be damp still. Okay, let's take a peek and see if I can find any funny business. All right. Ready? So that silver will sit right on top of the tree once it heats up. Ready? So I love this, but I think that I want to fix it a little bit more. Like, see how I get streaks in here? So I'm going to give it a little bit of time and love and fix it. And I will. I'll put it together and post it in a few minutes over on the creative group. If you are not part of my creative group, I can post it in the link down here. And again, don't forget this awesome event that I have on Sunday, and that's why my studio is like upside down right now, because there's 16 projects and I have 48 packets. I have a few packets left. If you haven't signed up to get your packet, Jerry, you get a discount because you're on my team. But thank you everyone for stopping by. I appreciate you all. And oh, I almost forgot. We have to do the drawing from last week. Ready? So all the people who shared last week's video are in this bucket. And I'm just going to pull out a name, one name. There's two there. One. Susan Nichols. So Susan, if you want to just send me a private message with your address, I will put the Warm-Hearted stamp set in the mail to you. This is what the stamp set looks like. So there's New Year and Christmas and thanks, and we just played with it. So enjoy. I will do another drawing next week. Oh geez, what do we want to raffle off? Do we want to do another one of these? They're so great. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I have another one on the shelf that's brand new. So this one belongs to Susan Nichols. So thank you for sharing my video, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you.